Lizardlea here for more tiny stockings. I'm going to be doing the orange cat with the mouse. So yes, I am still doing some more. There we go, this guy. I need to get some done for my family. I can't just do the ones for my coworkers. So yeah. I don't have anything else to add, so I'm gonna get right to stitching.
Okay, and we are officially back into some of the really long ones. So, woo. I think I ended up doing like 10 or 12 for family and friends. So, we are the majority of the way there, you guys, I promise. we're we're in the we're at the I don't know football things. We're near the end. I was gonna try, and then I was like, everything I say will be wrong, so I don't know why. I don't know why I'm trying. All right, so questions we left off on number 9. What is the best piece of advice you've received? Um, Gosh, I know I have answered this before, haven't I? What did I say? Or just what can I think of now? What's the best advice I've ever received? You know what? I think this is probably the one I usually go to is with Mr. Martinez, my computer teacher. In high school, he was great. He was mean, and I loved him. And after high school, when I was going to college, I came back after my first semester because it was Christmas time to visit my family, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pop by the high school and see all my favorite teachers. And Mr. Martinez was there, so I started bugging him, and we started talking, and I was like, yeah, I'm an art major, and all I keep hearing is starving artist, and like, I love art, that's what I want to do. And he told me how he loved cars, and he became a mechanic, and that's what he worked in, and he would bring his work home, and it made him miserable eventually, and he didn't love it anymore. And so he told me, like, what you're gonna do for the rest of your life as work, it should be something you like. And then whatever you love should remain as like side projects, things that you can take home because you're always gonna love it. And yeah, that's why I switched from an art major to an accounting major. I like math, but I love art. And I don't want this to be something that I resent one day because I take it home and I do it too much and I let everything else slide. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know it sounds sad to not accept a job in the field that you love, but the logic holds up in my mind. It holds up for me. Okay. 10. If you had to pick a new name for yourself, what name would you pick? I wouldn't. I absolutely love the name Elizabeth. It is my favorite female name. I would never change it. Like, if you know the issues with like, oh, she's such a Karen. If that instead had been with the name Elizabeth, I would still keep my name. Like, oh, she's such an Elizabeth. She's so horrible. All she does is ask for a manager and call the cops on innocent people. She's such an Elizabeth. I would still be like, nope, still my favorite name. I love it. I just love the name Elizabeth. But if I could pick a new YouTube name, I probably should have gone with like Flosstube or cross stitch in the name because then it would be immediately obvious to people what I do. But Lizardlea has been with me since elementary school. It was before the year 2000. My parents were making emails for all of us because, back then it was like, oh, there's only going to be so much available. You got to get it now if you can. So, yeah, Lizardlea is just my thing now. I use it everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but I use it in a lot of places. Okay. 11. What accomplishment are you most proud of? Pokemon Cross Stitch. We've been over this. 12. Which of your friends are you proudest of? Why? Ooh. I have to say, I'm definitely really proud of Holka. Not just because she's my best friend, obviously, but like she's come very far. When she first started working for us, she was so sweet. I mean, she still is. Like, she's the nicest person in the world. Like, bar none. I'm not exaggerating. We would have customers always complimenting her, and there'd be those old grumpy men that would complain, and they're like, oh, I wish she would just be real. And we'd all be like, yeah, dude, no, that's how she really is. Like, we hang out with her outside of work, and that's just how she is. That is her personality. And they'd always be shocked, and it's like, yeah. I mean, I had people complain about me that I was too happy, and I'm not nearly as nice and happy as Holka. So there are just grumpy people in this world that need to get over themselves, because just because you're grumpy doesn't mean everyone else needs to be. But with that, retail did not change her. All right, she worked there for a very long time, and she worked with the kids in the classroom. I feel like that is just, ugh. Like, it could be fun, but it could be really annoying sometimes, because there were literally parents who would walk out of the building, and we would tell them, like, you can't leave. You need to remain in the store. You don't have to stay in the classroom, but you need to remain in the store. And they'd be like, well, you're here watching them. And we're like, we're not a babysitter. We're here to teach them the class. If your kid, has some kind of like an allergic reaction, or starts freaking out, or, something in an emergency services needs to be called, you need to be here. Oh, I mean, there was one woman that I was literally like, I followed her out because I was told that she's done this before. And when she got to the exit, I was like, ma'am, if you're going to leave, you need to take your child with you. She was like, no, I don't. I was like, I'm a manager. I will call Child Protective Services on you if you leave the building. And like, I taught that class. So I was like, no, I'm not putting up with this, and we're done. We're not dealing with this anymore. And she didn't leave. She remained in the store. Like, because the way I taught, the like 2 classes, maybe 3 that I taught, I was in a position where I could see out the window at the other end of the classroom, and that was the exit to the building. And I was watching it like a hawk. Like, I'm sure the class wasn't super fun, but I was just like, no, I'm done. This is ridiculous. This woman cannot get away with this. We are not babysitters. Like, at least me, I was never paid more because I taught a class. I was not paid to babysit your kids. I was paid to teach your kid and a bunch of others, a silly little project that was fun. Oh, I hated that woman. Ugh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember ever seeing her again, so maybe she left and tried that crap somewhere else, but I was done. Okay, so now that I've gotten completely off track, who else am I really proud of? I mean, I don't want to get into names because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I've had a couple friends transition, and I'm really proud of them for, looking inside themselves and working towards what they feel they need to be. I was born a woman. I know that I'm a woman, so I can't really fathom what it feels like to be in one body and feel like it's wrong. I've had issues where I don't like the way I look, obviously, but it's definitely not the same. It's not even remotely close to being like, oh, I was born a girl, but I'm a boy. I mean, but I feel like it's the same for like sexuality. I'm straight, I'm into guys, and I'm not attracted to anyone else. I'm just not. So I can't understand exactly what it's like to deal with the scorn of people treating you like you're a second-class citizen because, you can't control your sexuality. But I'm proud of all of my friends that have come out, because it's just like, in a world where everyone is so mean and judgmental, you're still able to remain faithful to yourself. And I think that's really important. I think that's something to be proud of. and I don't want to name any names just because there are some people I know who are out to friends alone, and there are some people who are out to everybody, and I don't want to cause any issues with that. I don't think, like, barely any of my family and friends watch this, so I highly doubt it would get out, but just to be on the safe side, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. So, moving along. 13. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been? Personally, I'm gonna have to go with Yellowstone National Park. Just because, like, generally, my favorite time of day is sunset. I love all of the colors that the sky just turns into as the sun is setting. Sunrise is pretty, but they're a lot brighter colors versus they're much darker at sunset. And I mean, for instance, blue is my favorite color. I like the darker tones of blue. And I generally like the darker tones of most colors. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I really like how the darker colors mesh when they come together. I don't know if that makes sense. It's the truth. It's how I feel. And I feel like the sunset is gorgeous no matter where you are. So I have to rule that out. And the sakura blossoms in Japan are absolutely some of the most beautiful things I have ever seen. If you ever have the chance to go to Japan, please try and go in the spring. Try and get it around the 2 weeks that the sakura blossoms are there, because even if you don't like the color pink, it is still gorgeous. I don't know. I like the color pink, so I guess I can't say that. But okay, so if you don't like the color pink, you need to Google sakura trees in Japan, like in bloom. And just, if you don't think that's gorgeous, then you can go to Japan whenever. But if you think those are beautiful, pictures have nothing on what they look like in real life. Just nothing. And then Yellowstone National Park, honestly, it's very slowly dying. Like, people are throwing coins into morning glory, which is slowly killing it, so the colors are fading. So you need to go as soon as you can. And it is just one of the most beautiful places. There's beauty everywhere. Like, morning glory is gorgeous. What is it called? Oh crap, I lost it. I had it. The Grand Prismatic. There we go. I got it. The Grand Prismatic is beautiful. So you were basically always level with it. So the colors change very rapidly, but it's still beautiful. I haven't had the opportunity for this, but I have seen pictures of people who could go up into helicopters over the Grand Prismatic. And you guys, it's like a sunset in the water. Honestly, Google it. It's so beautiful. And Morning Glory, when it was in its prime, was beautiful. And it's still beautiful now, but the colors are a lot more dull. They're not as vibrant. Still gorgeous, though. And the last time my family went, it was the area Mammoth was really, honestly, it was just depressing, because places where it used to be like, big flowing waterfalls were now just teeny tiny trickles of water. That's because it's dying. And so if there's one place you're not able to go to, I would skip Mammoth, just because it's not going to be as mind-blowing as the rest. But if you're able to go everywhere, I would still recommend you try it. It doesn't hurt. If you have a very sensitive nose, you need to prepare for that, because it does not smell good. The springs there are they're terrible. They smell like rotten eggs. But the beauty is worth it. It is so amazing. And just, the fact that Earth has things like natural geysers, Old Faithful, that goes off, like, practically to the minute. Like, we know when it's gonna go off. Crazy. And just amazing. My God, what movie was that? Meet the Deedles? I think that was Guys at Yellowstone, and it had to do with Old Faithful, and it was a comedy. It was kind of stupid, but it was funny. If I'm right, Meet the Deedles? Yes, it is Meet the Deedles. Okay, let me see what comes up. Twin thrill seekers Phil, played by Paul Walker, and Stu Deedle, Steve Van Warmer, are hip Hawaiian surfers shipped out to Wyoming for summer camp before they're expelled from school. But when they get sidetracked to Yellowstone National Park, they fall into jobs as Ricky Rangers to impress a sexy lieutenant. That kicks off a hilarious wilderness adventure as the Deedles battle prairie dogs, surf rowing rapids, and rescue Old Faithful from a vengeful ex-ranger. It sounds kind of stupid, but it was really funny, and it was so good, you guys. I loved it. And, Paul Walker, he was great. Okay, I feel like those cover a lot of the bases. I mean, I think castles and cathedrals are just gorgeous, especially cathedrals, with like the stained glass windows, and especially if there's a stained glass window behind the organ. The organ is generally my favorite part of a cathedral, just because, like, I mean, they get so gigantic, and it's crazy, I love it. And if you can get a stained glass window in the same shot, perfection. Okay, 14. Do you feel like a leader or a follower? It depends on the situation. I am fully capable of doing both. It has never bothered me to be a follower, and it's fine for me to be a leader. Like, I'll step up and be a leader if I need to be. That's why I worked as a manager. But I feel like the best leaders are also able to follow. I don't think all followers need to be able to be a leader, but I do think all leaders need to be able to be a follower. If you are incapable of learning from others, I don't think you're a very good leader. Sorry, not sorry. All societies need both types. True, but I think it's a very important skill to just be able to follow. I have met people that are just incapable of being anything other than leaders. And they're very frustrating to work with, in my opinion. They're frustrating for me. They may not be frustrating for everybody, but they are for me. Like, especially when they're wrong. If they're like, we need to do we need to do action A. That's what we need to do in order to succeed. And, the rest of us are like, actually, action B would be better. Like, we all know how to do that, and we'll have better results. And they refuse to listen, and they still force us to do action A. I think that's a bad leader. Like, unless they can explain exactly why action A needs to be done, honestly, I can't think of a time where something like that happened, where they were like, we need to do this, we have to do this, and everyone else disagreed, and action A ended up working. Moving along. 15. What's the most courageous thing you've ever done? I mean, I'm not super brave. So, I did a lot of camps when I was a kid. We did space camp, nature camp, and they had really cool obstacle courses. And, there were a bunch of zip lines. And I'm not scared of heights, but obviously I am scared of falling. I don't want to die. So I do think it does take courage to jump off of a very, very, very high building or tree. High building or tree. And just trust that the zip line will hold you. But I feel like there are way more courageous things other people have done. So I don't think that is spectacular or anything to brag about. Let's see. 16. When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better? I like cross-stitching. Generally, I don't really like cross-stitching when I'm in a bad mood, though, because it slows me down, and it's not as enjoyable. And I never want to associate cross-stitching with being unhappy, because I love cross-stitching. So, I'll watch TV, I'll watch movies, I'll get dessert. Like, sorry, but cookies and ice cream, they never fail to make me feel at least a little bit better just because they're so delicious. Reading is nice. Yeah. 17. Which would be harder for you to give up? Coffee or alcohol? Neither. I don't drink coffee at all, and I very, very rarely drink alcohol. So I guess if I have to, alcohol would be harder to give up because I actually sometimes drink it. I never drink coffee, so yeah. Which method of self-medicating is most important? I don't think either of those are the best way to self-medicate personally, but whatever. It's just my opinion. 18. What is your favorite Wikipedia article? I don't have a favorite Wikipedia article. Is that a thing? Is having a favorite Wikipedia article a thing? I did not know this was a... What? No matter what your teachers say, Wikipedia is the ultimate collection of mankind's knowledge. Okay, so back when I was at school, okay, a friend and I edited an article in Wikipedia. I want to say it was like seahorses or something like that. I don't know. But we made it absolutely ridiculous. There was no way it was true. And it stayed up for almost a week. So yes, back then when I was in school, it wasn't really something you'd want to write a paper on, because if you got to the article before they corrected it, you'd have all the wrong information. But from what I've seen recently and for a very long time now, it is incredibly difficult to edit a Wikipedia article. And if on the very rare off chance that someone does edit it and make it incorrect, it's usually caught very quickly. Like, there's still people who try every once in a while. They build up good credit or whatever you want to call it, and they'll switch something, and then they're like, yeah, I got switched back immediately and I was banned. So it's like, okay, sure, maybe if something sounds outrageous, check if other sources agree with Wikipedia. But on average, Wikipedia is, the ultimate collection of mankind's knowledge. Because we have Encyclopedia Britannica. My dad collected them for years and has a ton of them. But I don't even think they're actually printed anymore. I think they might be online and, typed out, but I don't think they are printed in books anymore. And I think you have to pay. Like, Wikipedia is free. So it's just, it's great. Like, yeah, I support Wikipedia. 19. What's your favorite cheesy pickup line? I lost my number. Can I have yours? I love that one. I have loved that one for years. I have never had any cheesy pickup lines used on me, but if David had used that one, it would have worked. I love that one. The first time I read it, I laughed so hard. And I still really enjoy it now. Like, it's a good one. And then I also still enjoy, how much does a polar bear wear? How much does a polar bear weigh? I don't know how much. Enough to break the ice. Like, it can be so awkward trying to talk to someone. So, having a cute little thing like that, I like it. Also, I have never thought of that as being a tongue twister before, but I had a very difficult time saying that. Okay. How much does a polar bear weigh? There we go. I said it right that time. Moving along. 20. Can I get you another drink? That's the stupidest thing I have read on these questions so far. Really? Really? Nope. No, you can't. 21. Would you rather burp every time you lean in for a kiss or drool every time you talk? These both sound absolutely horrible. Okay, well, as a woman, I feel like burping every time I lean in for a kiss, I am capable of burping without belching. Like, sorry, I'm gonna gross you out, but I can force myself to burp. I just burped again after I said I just forced myself to burp. It was not nearly as loud because I kept my lips closed. So, I feel like that would not be as rude as like, oh yeah, come here for a kiss. Like that, yeah, that would be disgusting. That I feel like that would get somebody slapped. Cause like, really, you're gonna belch in my face? So as long as, like, it says leaning in for a kiss. I feel like once you're there already, you're not gonna burp anymore. So I will just lean in, do that, and go in for my kiss, and I'm good. Drooling every time I talk. All right, I have drooled before. While I've talked, like I have. Okay, I am a grown ass woman, and I have done that. I have spat on someone when I've been talking, just because like when you get really excited, that's what happens. You know, the spit gathers up in your mouth, and you don't know what you're doing, and instead of swallowing, you just keep talking. But I mean, that would just be like every time you talk. That would be horrible. Just horrible. Oh, I can't. I don't really like either of these options personally. Obviously, who would? Okay, 22. Would you rather... Excuse me. Okay. Would you rather not brush your hair ever or your teeth? Ooh. Crap, that's difficult because my hair is long. But I mean, not brushing your teeth is nasty. Okay, wait. Can I get around this by like, can I still comb my hair? Because if so, I'm going to go with not brushing my hair. And if I absolutely have to, I could cut my hair short enough that I don't need to brush it. I don't like that. I don't think those should be equated to one another at all. I don't like it. 23. Would you rather sleep wearing handcuffs or a bike helmet? God, neither of those would be comfortable. Like, I move my arms a lot. Like, I'll have one hand on my leg and another under my face. So handcuffs would never work with that. I think I would have to go with a bike helmet. And maybe I can find a pillow that, like... God, that would be so horrible. Like, that would force you to sleep on your side. You wouldn't be able to sleep on your head because your forehead would be pressing up against the helmet, and that would just start to hurt eventually. And you wouldn't be able to sleep on your back unless you have your head tilted really far to the side, because it'd be the same way. And I mean, I guess if you put the pillow underneath that, and so the helmet went past the pillow. Ugh. These both sound horrible. I don't like these questions, you guys. They are very weird. Am I on the weird questions? I don't remember, but I feel like I am. These are really weird. Enjoy the kitty.
And that is the end of more Tiny Stockings Cat and Mouse. I got 4 hours and 18 minutes of footage, so it was a long one. If I can get this turned around. Go look at it. It's so cute. They're so sleepy. I love it. And it's perfect because my parents own 2 orange cats. So it's perfect. Alright, so I don't have anything else to add. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys next video.